We often thank life when everything is going well. When the table is full, when the road is smooth, when love surrounds us. But true gratitude is tested in difficult seasons. Can you still say thank you when nothing seems to go your way? Can you still smile when life feels unfair? Today's story is about a man who thanked a broken lantern and discovered a miracle hidden inside his darkness. Stay with us till the end because this lesson may completely change the way you see your struggles. Many years ago, in a quiet seaside town, there lived a lonely fisherman named Edwin. His house stood near the edge of the shore where cold winds blew day and night. The walls of his cottage were old and cracked. His fishing boat was small and worn out. Most people in the town believed Edwin was unlucky. Storms often ruined his fishing trips. His nets frequently tore. Some days he returned home with almost nothing to eat. But despite his difficult life, Edwin had one strange habit. Every single night before sleeping, he whispered the same words. "Thank you for today." Sometimes he thanked the sea. Sometimes he thanked the rain. Sometimes he thanked the silence itself. The people in the village did not understand him. One fisherman laughed and said, "Edwin, you thank life too much for a man who has so little." Another man said, "Gratitude is easy for rich people. Poor men like us must worry, not give thanks." But Edwin only smiled gently. "Gratitude is not for what I own," he replied. "It is for what I still have." Every evening, Edwin carried an old oil lantern while walking near the shore. The lantern was rusty and scratched. It had belonged to his father many years before. Whenever Edwin looked at it, he remembered his father's words. "A grateful heart can see light where others only see darkness." Edwin never forgot those words. One winter, the sea became cruel. Huge storms crashed against the shore for many days. Boats stayed tied to the docks. Fishermen sat helplessly inside their homes while money slowly disappeared. Edwin's food supplies became smaller each day. One night he opened his cupboard and found only one loaf of bread left. He looked at the empty shelves quietly. Then he whispered, "Thank you for this bread." Outside, freezing wind howled across the sea. The next morning, despite the dangerous weather, Edwin decided to go fishing. The villagers tried to stop him. "The storm is too strong," they warned. "You could die out there." But Edwin looked at the gray horizon calmly. "If I stay here doing nothing, hunger will still come," he said softly. So he carried his old lantern, stepped into his small boat, and sailed into the restless sea. The waves were violent. Rain struck his face like stones. The sky looked dark as night even though it was morning. Still, Edwin kept rowing. Hours passed. But the sea gave him nothing. No fish. No luck. No hope. His hands grew numb from the cold. Then suddenly, a massive wave crashed against the boat. The lantern slipped from his hands and smashed against the wooden floor. The glass shattered completely. The flame died instantly. Edwin stared at the broken lantern in silence. For a moment, sadness entered his heart. That lantern was the last memory of his father. Now it was destroyed. Rain poured heavily over him as he picked up the broken pieces. Then slowly, Edwin closed his eyes and whispered something strange. "Thank you, broken lantern." The wind roared around him. Any other person might have cursed their luck. Any other person might have become angry. But Edwin thanked the broken lantern anyway. He did not fully understand why. He simply believed there must still be goodness hidden somewhere inside the pain. As evening approached, the storm became even worse. The sea pushed his tiny boat far away from the shore. Soon Edwin realized something terrifying. He was lost. The coastline had disappeared behind thick fog. Darkness slowly covered the ocean. Edwin tried rowing in different directions, but every path looked the same. Fear entered his chest. For the first time in many years, he felt completely helpless. Hours later, exhausted and freezing, Edwin finally saw a faint shape in the distance. It was a small island. With his remaining strength, he rowed toward it. When he reached the shore, he collapsed onto the sand. The island was empty except for a tiny wooden cabin near the trees. Inside, Edwin found dry blankets, old furniture, and a fireplace. Someone had once lived there long ago. He lit a small fire and rested for the night. Outside, the storm continued screaming across the sea. Edwin sat beside the fire holding the broken lantern in his hands. Quietly, he whispered again, "Thank you." The next morning, sunlight finally returned. Edwin walked outside and looked around the island carefully. Then he noticed something strange near the far side of the beach. A large ship was stuck between rocks. Its sails were torn. Several people stood near it waving desperately. Edwin hurried toward them. The passengers were merchants traveling across the sea when the storm destroyed part of their ship. They had been trapped there for 2 days without help. Their leader was a woman named Eleanor. When she saw Edwin, relief filled her face. "You came at the perfect time," she said. "We thought no one would ever find us." Edwin helped repair part of the ship using wood from the old cabin. He showed them where fresh water could be found on the island and helped guide the ship safely back toward the mainland. During the journey, Eleanor spoke often with Edwin. She noticed his calmness, his gratitude, his peaceful spirit. Finally she asked him, "How can you stay thankful after everything you have lost?" Edwin looked at the broken lantern beside him. Then he smiled softly. "Because every painful thing in my life has carried me somewhere important." Eleanor listened quietly. "If my lantern had not broken," Edwin continued, "its light would have made me stay on the dangerous sea trying to find my way home. But the darkness forced me toward this island. And because I reached the island, I found all of you." Eleanor stared at him in amazement. "You thanked the very thing that saved you without your knowledge," she whispered. Edwin nodded gently. "Sometimes broken things guide us better than perfect ones." Those words stayed inside Eleanor's heart. When they finally returned to the mainland, the merchants rewarded Edwin generously for saving their lives. But that was not the greatest blessing. Eleanor later returned to the village many times. She brought workers who repaired Edwin's old cottage and fishing boat. She also helped him start a small fishing business so he would never struggle alone again. Slowly, Edwin's life changed. But more importantly, his gratitude changed everyone around him. The villagers who once mocked him began learning from him. They noticed something powerful. Edwin had always been rich in the one thing many people lacked: peace. Even during storms. Even during loss. Even during darkness. One evening, years later, young children gathered around Edwin near the shore. One boy asked him, "What is the secret to your happiness?" Edwin lifted the broken lantern carefully. He had kept it all those years. Then he said, "Most people thank life only when they understand the blessing. But gratitude becomes powerful when you give thanks before understanding anything." The children listened closely. Edwin pointed toward the ocean. "The sea taught me something," he said softly. "Storms do not always come to destroy us. Sometimes they push us toward islands we never would have discovered otherwise." Friends, this story carries a deep truth. Many of us only feel grateful when life goes according to our plans. But true gratitude means trusting that even broken moments may still carry hidden gifts. Sometimes the job you lost protects you from a worse future. Sometimes the relationship that ended makes space for the right people. Sometimes the closed door guides you toward a better path. Edwin thanked the broken lantern before he knew it would save him. That is the power of gratitude. Gratitude changes the way we see pain. It turns fear into trust. It turns darkness into direction. And slowly, it fills the heart with peace that no storm can steal. Life will not always be easy. There will be days when your hands feel empty. Days when your plans collapse. Days when nothing makes sense. But if you can still whisper, "Thank you," during those moments, something beautiful begins to happen inside you. You stop seeing yourself as cursed. You begin seeing yourself as guided. And that changes everything. So today, even if life feels difficult, try to find one thing to be grateful for. Maybe it is your breath. Maybe it is the people who still love you. Maybe it is simply another chance to begin again. Because gratitude is not ignoring pain. It is choosing to believe there is still goodness hidden within it. If this story touched your heart, write in the comments one thing you are grateful for today, no matter how small it may seem. And if you want more meaningful stories that inspire hope, strength, and wisdom, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Remember this always. Sometimes your greatest blessing first arrives disguised as a broken lantern.